cheap speaker. I had to buy it because I was having issues with my phone. If it's hooked up to the speaker thing, then it is a little better. So now I gotta travel to Goodwill and hope that they have some sort of a speaker and some batteries that I can purchase for cheap. I don't have the money to keep running around and doing this. Now you get to hear how police officers keep trying to play the whole, oh, well, I'm recording it for hours. No, you're not. It'll take me an act of God to get that. You guys will lie to me, threaten me, intimidate me, or even arrest me for trying to get that. How do I know? Because it is standard procedure nationwide against a homeless male. Standard procedure is to abuse the homeless male, and if he tries to turn it in, harm him greatly. Call him mentally ill or assault him, put him in severe physical pain. You call it pain compliance, but in reality, what you're literally doing is torturing a person physically. This entire country is disgusting. This entire country looks away to how homeless and disabled men are treated. 60% of those killed last year by police. 60% were homeless. The majority of those were men. 96% of those killed by police are men. Men. 4% are women. That's it, only 4%. Also, women are a lot more likely to get violent in relationships. They're more likely to beat your children. They're more likely to kill their own children. Far more likely than a father. Multiple times more likely than a father. When you've got a father like Ted Bollinger, yeah, there's a very, very large risk that he might kill his daughter. He's got a history of raping his own daughters, consuming alcohol, and beating on his daughters, getting fucked up on meth and fucking his daughters. You're goddamn right I speak up. My phone issues that I'm having, the charger won't work now because this little part fell out of the back of the cheap-ass thing that I got at Fred Meyer's. Of course, it was like $10 on sale, and it's trash, though. Ugh. I can still go to Goodwill, so that's where I'm going to go. Now, as far as Danell Boggs goes, in our appointment that is on this channel, she talks about how part of the reason she got out of that job as a social worker with the TFCC is because of all the excuses that they make. They get innocent people killed. Now, she wasn't referencing specifically that, but that was what the conversation was about. When she brought that up. When she brought it up. She used to do that job and quit for a reason. What was her reasoning? Now then, I have to record it to show that I tried, and I have to post it live when at all possible because it takes a lot of post-editing effort afterwards. There's a lot of people that like to give me instructions like I'm capable from my position. I'm not. See, you guys are wanting me to do 10,000 other things other than helping me to turn it in. That means with me, either on the phone or in person. You have to verify the things that you've seen. Instead of letting them talk over me. Instead of letting them sell a false narrative. If you've seen the evidence, then yes, that is the time that you need to speak up. When one of those police officers wants to repeatedly interrupt me while I'm telling them what's happened, to sell a false fucking narrative at me, or make excuses for my fucking predators, that is not fucking acceptable. And fuck any of you who helped that. As far as Danell Boggs goes, she also gave me a bunch of bullshit about the legal regal mumbo jumbo. Or there's always some bullshit excuse they can use to look the other way. Also, they can utilize illegally other jurisdictions. They just pretend they didn't, and it's fine. If you pick a victim that's homeless, chances are pretty good he doesn't have a support network and won't have one. Let's hope. Oh, good, I did turn down the right street. I was gonna say, let's hope I turned down the right street. Although I didn't turn right, I turned left. Now, Danell Boggs talks about many of the things that I need you guys to speak out about. People are afraid of the cops for a reason. They're afraid to turn stuff in for a reason. These people with 20 or more years of experience in social services leaving because, straight up, nobody gives a fuck. The law has made it impossible for poor victims to turn their predators in. And of course, the hospitals are too afraid to actually look into what they're being told by officers or what they're being told by the patients. If a patient is being harmed by cops, they have to go to Jen Beebe. That's who they have to go to, because that's supposed to be their caseworker. When we're abused, we're supposed to go to someone. Then we get to hear the argument from all these people why they can't do nothing. The reason that people are in prison for committing crimes is because people actually got off their ass. That officer who raped a woman in Adams County on the hood of his squad car, 27 years on the force. How many people did he rape before somebody did something about it? How many people did Clearview help to destroy their name and tag them with the mentally ill tag before they were busted doing it for profit? For your taxpayer dollars. Same as Tillamook Family Counseling Center. They don't give a fuck about the homeless. They don't give a fuck about the disabled. They care about billing acceptability. I recorded that stuff with Danell. It shows that I told the truth about what she said to me. She agreed that I was right. Just as many officers agreed that I was right. But also, there's many officers who wanted to say that I was wrong. Wanted to argue with me and talk over me. And many of those officers agreed that I was right. Still had to work for sheriffs like Sheriff Scott Costa. Why is it that over 20 deputies in a 5-year period left the Dual County Sheriff's Department? The county seat. That's the largest town in the whole county. There's only 2 towns, Big Springs and Chapel. Big Springs, Nebraska and Chapel, Nebraska are the only 2 towns in Dual County. Chapel, Nebraska only has 500 people. When you're going through deputies like that, and of course, they're recorded committing felonies. They're recorded on my channel committing felonies. Scott DaCosta had to let over 20 of them go. The guy who ran against him is one of my predators, James Hammond, another of his deputies. He ran against Scott DaCosta, and one of his points was that Scott DaCosta had lost over 20 deputies. Over 20 deputies in a 5-year period. That is phenomenal. That is one of the most phenomenal turnover rates in law enforcement in the country, if not the most phenomenal. Especially given the fact that there are never more than 7 law enforcement officers in Dual County at a time, and they rarely have more than 1 on duty. The fact that the Nebraska State Patrol made me repeatedly go to the Dual County Sheriff's Department, knowing I was trying to turn in Dual County Sheriff's Department, knowing that it was their job to do something about the abuse of Dual County Sheriff's Department. What did they do? Same thing they do here. Everybody blows me off, pretends I'm a fucking retard. Unfortunately, I know my shit. And these dumbasses, in assuming that I was a retard, done fucked themselves in the ass. How many of these caseworkers have we spoken to that said the same things that Danell said? They all know the system fucks the victims, especially male victims. They all know that the homeless are especially prone to this, and that people who are disabled are harmed more than anybody else except for the homeless. When you're homeless, they're just going to assume that you're mentally ill, though, aren't they? Of course, that's the bias that we try to sell to the American public. Boulder County tries to blame literally everything on the homeless. When they had an officer that was raping people, they tried blaming it on a homeless man. When John Benet Ramsey was killed, they tried blaming it on a homeless man. Several homeless men. When one of the firefighters started a very large fire outside of Boulder, they tried blaming it on homeless people, even arrested homeless people and convicted homeless people, just so you know. After convicting those homeless people, who they weren't convicted of the fire. No, but they were convicted before they found the person who committed the fire. These homeless people were convicted before the investigation was completed, because their words didn't come together right. Were they ever released and given a bunch of money like racists such as Sammy Leon Lawrence IV and Zaid Atkinson? No. All right, this place opens, I believe, at 9. What time is it now? 9:49. It might open at 10 a.m. All right. And it is 9:49, so I got 11 minutes to wait. They do sell batteries here, so I'm gonna buy some batteries and something I can plug into my phone so that I can actually make the calls and have it be loud enough I can record it. Also, I want you to look back through the videos. How many times when I talk to officers did they say, "My name is Officer"? It's like they only mumble when it's important information I need to know and write down. Like, all right, I'm gonna grow me a really big mustache as an officer. Ugh. And when I gotta speak to somebody and it's an important piece of information, I'll just get up close enough to my CB that my mustache scratches against it and they can't understand my words. Sorry, we can't hear you. Or the trying to intimidate me into opening my door, right? Like Rob, the punk ass bitch over there, claims he owns the Fred Meyer. Does he own it? Or is he the manager? I don't care which. He's still a fucking douchebag. I got victimized by somebody who chose to take advantage of me, chose to try to force a controlling situation over me. Homie, don't play that. Between somebody's words and the actual evidence, which one are you going to listen to? If the evidence shows that they lie, are you going to look at that evidence? Not if they're a friend of yours. Not if you don't want to be targeted by those people in their group, whichever group that may happen to be. The American people lost a long time ago. The name of the game is divide and conquer. And the American poor are the most conquered peoples in this country. Conquered. We are possessions and nothing more.